So, as I said, we took the liberty of taking a look at how this might impact each of the.
I'm passing out your
Light chart, okay. The tax years.
menu.
Here's a list of all the properties that we're talking about and their assessed value, which comes to about 13 million. We understand that's about 8.9% of the total assessed value of the village. And I've listed all the village taxes that those properties pay. It's about these are round numbers, about $103,000. And it's also 8.9% of the taxes the villages take. Interestingly, these properties represent 3.5% of the parcels in the town. So already, these properties pay about 3 times the average tax to the village that the other properties pay. Now, we know that that's because they're valuable properties. They're assessed at a higher value, and everybody's, in this crowd, I think, is fine with that. But I think that's an important ratio to keep under consideration. So what we would propose is that we take that $103,000 and divide that among the village, the town, and the school. And in the pilot agreement, it would tax, each of these taxing jurisdictions would hit us with a smaller rate, such that the village would lose $32,000, the town $30,000, and the school district $41,000, totaling that same $103,000. So that in that case, we would reach parity with all the other islands that are not in the village. We would be paying exactly the same as if we were only in the town. But the reduction would be shared equally across the 3 districts. And by doing that, it's really quite a small amount. 32,000 against the village is $1.2 million, I think, in its take, somewhere like that.
Mhm.
So fairly nominal value. And of course, for the town and the school district, it's almost insignificant, the reduction. And at that point, we would still be paying 6.3% of the village's taxes, so still double what the average parcel in the village pays. Now, the beauty of an arrangement like this is it's one that could be done pretty easily, pretty simply. We would look to have a conversation with the town, the village, and the school district together and try and work out the details of how something like this would work. We would suggest that it go for 30 years. And of course, if in fact the village was dissolved or rolled into the town, the pilot agreement would be dissolved. And we would be taxed just as the rest of the islands are. So that would be our proposal, and what we would look to the trustees for is some direction on how we might continue this conversation with all 3 taxing jurisdictions.
Well, I would suggest you've already spoken to the town, and I'm assuming that you're also going to go speak with the school board and present this to them. My suggestion from our standpoint is that we would need to discuss all this with our village attorney before, that would be our next step. And then short of that, I wouldn't know what else to tell you, except for if you can give me who the spokesperson is or who you want me to contact. I will speak with our attorney tomorrow, and I will forward all of this and your concerns on to him, and then I will let you know what his suggestions are for the steps that this board needs to
Yeah, I
take.
think also, could you arrange the meeting between the town and the school board with us?
I can't arrange your meeting with the school board. I can arrange, you want me to facilitate a meeting between all 3?
Yeah, that's the way
I can do
the
that.
pilot
I
will
can
have
do
to
that for
go.
you. Right,
And if you could do that, it would save a lot of time and presentations and all that.
And ensure that all 3 voice their relative concerns, and all that gets taken into consideration.
At the town meeting, someone said, oh, we can't do that because then the islands that aren't in the village would ask for a pilot. But that doesn't hold any water, because the point is, all we're asking is that all the islands be treated the same.
right.
And you can't annex Cherry Island now, or a lot of them. But with this pilot agreement, it makes it equal. So if someone's got a house that's valued like my house, and they're on another island that's not in the village, the total taxes would be the same.
Mhm.
And I think that's very fair. And it'd be difficult to argue with it isn't.
And it doesn't change the assessment, so for purposes, for all the village and town's other purposes, all that remains.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if you'd have the answer to it, but if you took a town island that was in the township and it was taxed through the township, maybe you can't answer it or not, I'm just asking the question. If that island was assessed at $1 million, what would they be paying?
They would be
Is it on
paying.
there? Did I miss
Uh,
something?
Town, county, and school
Yeah,
rates, all
so
not
here,
the village.
let's take this one that's assessed at $1 million. They would be paying the town tax and the school tax.
Right.
Okay.
Total tax is what, 28?
So they would be paying $17,000, and that's exactly what we're proposing that the village island would be paying, the same thing.
Okay, so they're not picking up the other.
They're not paying that,
They're not paying the A.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You want-
So there's many islands with beautiful homes on them that don't pay the tax.
Sure.
They're no different than we are, except that we got gerrymandered in by people 135 years ago. And things change,
Right.
and we have to change with it.
Sure. Well, bringing this to our attention and opening this line of communication, I think is a great start. So if I can get at least one phone number, I don't know who wants to, and
Here, I'll get-
I will set up a meeting and then we'll coordinate and decide what times work best for whoever wants to be involved.